Hello and welcome everyone, welcome to round 10 of Race Department's Formula FG Championship here from the Hockenheim Ring in Germany. We might apologise, I'll start by apologising if the microphone settings are a bit weird, hopefully they're not. But we are expecting a few extra guests this afternoon in Nathan Corns and Aaron Reed, neither of which have turned up on time. They're in fact nearly half an hour late. Can you believe that? So we're going to have to get this started, and they're going to have to turn up halfway through without any idea what has gone on beforehand. So it's going to be fun, that is for sure. But at the moment anyway, we're going to go straight towards the qualifying. Daniel Harvey on pole position. And it's quite surprising because his teammate Jack Lasky is just so far behind him. He's in 4th. I don't think he started that far back this season in the dry session. But quite amazing. Anyhow, James McNamara in 2nd place there, just behind, with Manolis Sigalakis in 3rd. So they're the two that are keeping Jack Lasky away from the front. Then it's Rui Martins and Hugo Rossello. So 3 teams in the top 6. Once again, Jordan Bradford is the big chance here today. We saw the speed of the Falcons last race, and he'll be on it again, no doubt. So he's in 7th. Ben Utzer, home race for him, 8th. Damian Son, Carlos Rodriguez, both challengers, 9th and 10th. Let's see out the top 10. Not sure how far they'll get today, though. Tapio Rinyaho, Stefan Berner, they're just outside the 10. Looking a lot further down. And, well, the drinking game, Omar Saeed starting from 16th, so see how that goes. Nonetheless, we'll head straight to the grid then for the German Grand Prix. On the grid then here at the moment, Daniel Harvey, McNamara, Sigalakis, Lasky in sight, up to 4 lights, 5 lights now. Underway we are. It's a really good start there by Lasky on the 2nd row. Moving off the grid, I think Sigalakis is already going backwards. Lasky might even sneak up the inside here of McNamara as well. Harvey is through in the lead though. So a positive start for the 2nd DTK. You can see once again McNamara and Lasky both seem to be going for one-stop strategies. Quite a few. It's Rossello and Harvey that are going 2-stop, but look at McNamara go. Look at the speed there of the 2KF1, just flies past Daniel Harvey. Harvey though should have the opportunity to fight back any moment now. What a slow off the grid there from McNamara, but a ripping start down the 1st straight. That is for sure. And indeed, here comes Harvey, but McNamara, very defensive, and Harvey, nothing he can do about that. Here comes Sigalakis now, returning the favour there on Lasky, and that's going to push him into the clutches of his teammate Hugo Rossello. Further back, Ben Utzer made a good start up 2 places. Bradford's gone somewhat nowhere. A lot of one-stop strategy. Stefan Berner on a 2, he's gone up a couple of places there. Damian Son, Carlos Rodriguez. There's Nathan Corns, who's up 2 spots. Tapio Rinyaho has actually gone backwards, so not a great start for him. Saeed up a spot. Allington, Guardian, right. Tim Engbrink on a 1-stop. Oh, sorry, 2-stop rather. Danny Totos on the 1-stop. And Rob Sharp will go past him. You go McNamara now. This time, Harvey up the inside. Move is completed there by him. Hugo Rossello there has moved up into 4th place. So a good start for him so far. As Harvey's not getting away from McNamara, which isn't going to be helping his race. As Rossello probably is going to be able to get past Sigalakis at some stage, and he'll be hunting down Harvey. As long as Rossello can get to McNamara, he won't be all that far away and be able to launch an attack in the slipstream down the straights here. As Bradford down the inside there of Ben Utzer. So place gained for him. As Corns there up into 10th place. Saeed there up into 14th. Damien's son here. But behind that was Utzer, I think, getting overtaken there by, Ree Martins has gone through. In the background, a lot of movement there. Looked like Engbrink was sneaking up the inside of at least one person. Corns there on Burner. Not going to get it done. I think Utzer might have to let his teammate through. Oh, a little bit of defensive movement there from Utzer. Blocking out Corns a little bit there, and I think, not sure about that one. Burner does get through. I see Harvey now just gapping McNamara a little bit. And it's all starting to go off here at the moment. Jordan Bradford going a little bit wide, and I think that was, Stefan Burner as well. And also, meanwhile, in the commentary box, we have had the first of two to join us. Nathan Corns is here.
How you going, guys?
So, one of them turned up close to on time. Well, actually, I say that. He's still 40 minutes late. And then at the moment, we do have Bradford defending there from Utzer. Corns, the racer, is just behind, having moved up 5 spots already. Hugo Rossello moved up 3 as well. So it's a close, quite an even start at the moment. Coming down the straights here. Here comes Bradford once again. It looks like he's gotten the move done, and he's brought Corns with him. He's actually going to go for the double overtake. There he goes. The Raven West driver has been able to get it done. Very good move there on the 2-stop strategy. Able to use the speed. He's now up 7 spots, as you can see on the data. Big move there by Corns. Happy with that?
Yes.
Go back to the front here, and it's Hugo Rossello who is still marching forward. He's going to try to bridge the gap over to McNamara. That was Joseph Wright just going a little bit wide there as there's a debriefing in the commentary box. Look at this, 2 wide, 5 cars streaming down the straight as we have a yellow flag somewhere. It's in this section, in fact.
It looks like Bradford.
Yes, it is Jordan Bradford. Now, we've seen in the past there, this is a dangerous spot to go off. He's not made it to the wall, though, so that's thankful for him, but he was arguably the best positioned car to be winning this race. So now as Nathan runs out of the commentary box, Jordan Bradford does seem to be stuck, so he's beached himself. Really good opportunity here for him today. Mercedes as well at the home track, but won't be the case for Bradford. Gets himself beached there, lap 3, entrance to the arena. This is the top 5 gaps at the moment. Martin's not too far off the back as well. Then next is Corns, who's already been able to get 2.9 seconds. Omar Saeed. What a good effort by him, and Carlos Rodriguez. Transmission problem there for him as Engbrink, I think it was Allington, both go past, so unfortunate for him. Omar Saeed is up into 9th at the moment. This is Allington right here at the moment. He's already lost quite a bit to Engbrink through there. That's another car off. That's another car off. Damien's son. Battling there with Omar Saeed, stuck on the outside. Struggles to turn in and he is off at speed. Backs it in, loses a wheel. So in a matter of moments, we've already lost 3 cars in the space of a lap. Damien's son into the wall. His team boss having retired with transmission failure. And team boss retiring with transmission failure. And then, of course, there was Jordan Bradford getting himself beached at this point. And we're back once again, and now this time we actually do have everyone turned up. Only 50 minutes late. Thank you, Aaron Reed, for finally turning up.
What can I say? You've got to... You're fashionably late, and then there's as late as me.
Doesn't even know what he's doing. So, as we just saw before, James McNamara fighting back with Hugo Rossello there. Hugo does seem to be having quite a bit of speed. Same as Corns and Berner, a little bit further behind. And Engbrink is already into the top 10 as well. Matthew Allington, you reckon he can make points today?
If he can get to the finish.
You mean he has recently? He's got to the finish
if he
recently.
can get to the finish, I reckon if other people don't get to the finish, he could get in points.
Well, I mean, we've already had 3 retirements in the space of a lap, and I'm pretty sure that generally this has been one of the races with the biggest amount of attrition historically. So odds are in his favour.
I'm just hoping they put the proper brake pads on. A lot of braking, a lot of accelerating.
Going back a little bit further than the rest of them. It's weird to see. Oh. Actually, what had happened to Omar there? He was a long way further up. Not going to really know. So he was pushing the top 10, I'm fairly certain. So he's down in 19th and having spun off there as well.
He's just trying to make it even harder for himself than he can in qualifying.
No, it definitely is the case. Rossello and McNamara going once again as there was a yellow flag somewhere. Seemed to be at the first corner, so someone might have just slipped off for a little bit. And to be honest, I'm not too sure who that was at all. Definitely at the moment, the big battle seems to be at the moment between McNamara and Rossello. Rossello just doesn't have quite enough speed to be able to break away from McNamara, and he hasn't got enough speed to catch up to him in the important bits. If he could be ahead of McNamara here, he would be free.
Well, they're pretty similar cars in all three up the front there. So there's not much speed difference. It's all about the drivers.
And the strategy.
And the strategy.
Here is Ben Utzer and Matthew Allington. Now, Allington actually got past Utzer there briefly, and they're still battling side by side. He's still got it, Allington, so... He's currently in 10th place.
Keep it going, Matt. Keep it going. Let's do it. The rainbow car will get there. It will get points.
The moving billboard. Down the straight. There should be an opportunity for Rossello to get past, but how will he get through? Yeah, he's already passed, so he's definitely got the speed, but how will he get through this chicane? He needs to get through it quite cleanly.
He really needs to get rid of McNamara here and start chasing down Harvey before Harvey gets away.
And that's the weird thing, is that Harvey really is not all that far down the road at all.
Not at all. These two have been fighting for the last 3 laps, and Harvey's not increased his lead.
Well, McNamara was close there, but not close enough, and Rossello has not only been able to hold him off, but he's also been able to get the gap there. There is no way that McNamara should be able to get that one back, even by the time they get to the arena, so that should be the position there for Hugo Rossello. Only 2 seconds up the road to Daniel Harvey. Top 3 here have all won a race this season. All ready for it. Talking about winning races, Rinho is up to 11th, as we can see down on the bottom.
Will Utzer, we're talking about will Matt Allington get points? Will Ben Utzer finish? Will he get past the final lap?
Will he get to the checkered flag? Yeah, that is a very good question. Very topical question as well. Sigalakis isn't too far away from McNamara, and Lasky... We're not seeing the best of him today. He's not even all... I mean, a couple of laps here, he hasn't been able to get rid of Rui Martins even. And it might be down a little bit to fuel load, but that's saying something. Matthew Allington, I think he might be one of the first cars to actually pit here. Go back to the front.
I must say, I didn't, at the Silverstone race, I didn't really get a good look at the Kerenan cars. They are good looking. That's a good looking livery. It really is.
Yeah, very, very happy with how that's come out. I haven't had too many green cars in Formula FG. Well, actually, no, wait, I say that. Actually, some of the most successful cars have been green.
Yeah. But were they green and yellow?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it was actually yellow and green, but yes.
So much for having that drinking game.
Yeah.
It's not doing anything.
Nathan's just drinking. That's because, yeah, unfortunately, as soon as everyone turns up, Omar Saeed decides to make him, just put himself at the back of the field and nowhere near anyone else. So it's going to be a long, dry game.
When we were supposed to take a drink?
It was Omar. It was Omar.
Whenever Omar was going to get an overtake, but.
It would have been better if it had been someone, realistically, someone like Tim, who's always starting at the back and is moving forwards, or someone like Tapio.
Well, that's why I picked Omar, because he always starts at the back and always gets to the front, or near the front.
Well, he hasn't for a while, has he?
Yeah.
Though, it was going to be, I don't think you were aware of this, but it was going to be that it's literally every overtake. Doesn't matter, it's not once per lap, it's once per effective overtake.
Well, it is Australia Day tomorrow. Or for us.
Tomorrow.
It's Australia Day party now or after. So, pre-drinks. Every overtake is a good way to get your pre-drinks out of the way.
Oh, Ben Utzer. You might have actually been in a battle there. Or not. Just put it off a little bit wide. I think Joseph Wright was worried he was going to come spearing back across the track.
They've got no luck. No luck at all down there at BRT.
Not even at their home race can they really find anything. Meanwhile, look at Hugo Rossello here. He's brought it down to 1.7 seconds. These guys are on a similar strategy as well. So, you know, if Daniel Harvey wants to win this race, he has to be able to keep Rossello behind. Regardless of whether they're on the right or the wrong strategy today, it seems the one-stop strategy will be strong. Because these guys aren't getting away from McNamara.
And McNamara, correct me if I'm wrong, is on one stop and the two front runners are on two stop?
Yes.
Yep. So, according to strategy, they should be getting away.
A lot, yeah, they should be getting away a lot more, you know, to only find themselves with what I think Harvey might have about 4-second lead over James McNamara. That's basically nothing. And for the majority of this race, they're not going to have all that much more pace. I mean, this is when they should have an amount of pace. They're going to pit soon, and they're going to be looking at, you know, close to half the race with same or less pace.
Yeah.
So, definitely going to be tough for them. They're not making enough of it. I don't think Harvey's making enough of it. Rossello is getting somewhere. He did start in 6th. I think he got shuffled back early in the race, and he's now responding to it.
Well, he's definitely got speed. We saw in the battle with Rossello and McNamara that they were both keeping pace with Harvey. And we see now it's down to 1.4 seconds, that gap. So it's not it's not coming down super quick, but it's coming down.
Definitely is the case. And of course, you only need to get to about 8/10. Oh, Omar. Oh no. Oh, he's going in deep.
Maybe the drinking game needs to be every time Omar goes off the track.
Yeah.
That's yeah. Finish your drink.
Skull. Actually, we're in the household, so be fair. He throws up. He's getting, what is it? I don't know. He's getting thrown out.
I'll sleep with the fishies.
We do have fish out there. Got a nice big pond.
Fishies.
So that is Omar Saeed, unfortunately, retiring out the race. That is the 4th retirement now. And rip the drinking game. Unfortunate. Top 6, top 7 remaining the same. Corns and Burner doing nicely to bridge the gap, but they've got to try to get something, same as Engbrink. Tapio Riniho in 11th. He's showing good pace, and he's on a 1-stop compared to the 4 ahead of him.
Well, Riniho certainly has the car, and apparently the strategy to move ahead, so...
The one thing he's lacking is track position. He's nowhere near the front, which is going to impact him.
Yeah.
You know, he must be... Well, actually, there you go. I think it was about 20 odd seconds, 22 seconds, I think.
Yeah. Well, how long are the pits at Hockenheim here? They'd come out around about level. He can
the leaders might come out quite close to him indeed, and that would actually then be a straight fight between those guys for an effective lead. But Riniho's still a long way behind.
He can. I don't know if he can harbour hopes for podium, but he can harbour hopes for top 5. I think.
Absolutely, yeah,
easily for sure.
Will be tough. I'm not even sure on the one-stop strategy. I'm not even sure how likely he's going to be to even getting something such as a fastest lap, because he's not on the quick strategy. He's on the long-term, possibly best strategy. I think it was mentioned earlier. It's a case of, I think the better strategy is the one-stop. But if you're within striking distance of someone on a 2-stop late in the race, you're creamed. You're going to get creamed. Absolutely. McNamara there is holding quite a stable pace with Sigalakis. He's not exactly pulling away, but I think he's controlling the race at this point. He's controlling his race.
He's slightly getting dropped by the front two, but that is to be expected. And it's actually good to see the front two actually start to pull away.
Well, they're getting down to that critical point in their races. They're getting quite low as they're going to have maximum speed. Oh, Danny Totos there on Ben Utzer. This is down towards the third chicane. Seems like the move is done and Totos will move ahead there. And now Rossello down to 0.6 of a second. He's in the slipstream, so these two will be battling. It'll be interesting to see what they're going to do. Are they going to hold each other up? Because, I mean, they could hold themselves up fighting for a while.
They certainly could do that.
Actually, well, I say that at the same time. I think Hugo Rossello might be close to pitting. So yeah, he will actually pit at the end of this lap. So it's more if he makes a dive bomb at some stage here. It might impact Harvey more than it's going to impact him. Harvey on the defensive.
At the end of this lap.
Rossello going for the inside. Still going for the inside.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't think he's lost too much time through the chicane though. So he might be able to have another go in a little bit.
Harvey did really well then, defending the outside line into the second part of the chicane.
Down to the third chicane. So far, so good. Rossello gets through there nicely. I don't think he's close enough. And the entry to the arena isn't exactly a well-known and well-practiced overtaking position. And yeah, he's not going to get it. So that will be Hugo Rossello. He'll be making his pit stop from second place. But at the end of the day, actually, just looking at the times, he actually has made an impact on this race. The defense from Harvey has cost them a couple of tenths to McNamara. So he's going to come in now. Harvey should be about 2 laps later. Going to start to see strategy work, and just Lasky is...
He's got a lot of fuel.
He has got a lot of fuel indeed, and he's got a lot of distance between him and Sigalakis. Further behind, Rui Martins has Corns. Corns has only got, he's got about another 2 laps, or 3 even, realistically, before he's pitting. They're running it down to about 2 laps of fuel left in the tank, so Corns has got a couple of laps. Burner is going to be coming in now, as will Allington. There's Hugo Rossello. He's popped back out in 12th place, so that's not too bad for him.
Got a little bit of clear air in front of him, apart from the Raven West, who is going up the inside. He's actually made the move. Got it done.
So Joseph Wright not exactly helping Rossello's cause, but it's not surprising seeing that Wright now does have the car advantage in terms of fuel weight and whatnot. So not all that surprising. Might notice the Profelli's looking a little bit different today. They've just changed up the paint scheme a little bit. So coming through, looking a little bit darker, a bit more matte sort of colour.
Yeah.
Matte for Matt Bailey.
Put on.
There's Benutza, Chris Guardian, back to the front there. Daniel Harvey. McNamara must be getting down to that point where as well he's starting to see the car come back to him a little bit, because he's keeping the gap 4.1 to Harvey quite stable.
And that's all he needs to do, McNamara, at this point.
Ooh, here we go. Here's one. McNamara and Martin seem to be running the same fuel load, so one of them is going to have to pit either before or after. Food for thought. Who's going to run it down that extra lap? You'd think Martins would have to. You think McNamara might be given. Whoop.
McNamara would definitely be given right away.
Of course, the 2K1 team might be looking for him to continue running on that low fuel load. Means a bit longer stopped in pit lane, but you might get a bit more speed on the track.
And
Damn.
corns around the inside, actually relatively easy.
Yeah, he's been lining that one up on Martins for a while. So he's gotten that move done. His next victim would be Jack Lasky. We're unlikely to see anything happen there until after the pit stops for the one-stop cars. I don't think McNamara will make up Corns will make up that speed quite quickly enough. That was Rossello there taking back the position on Joseph Wright. Corns, though, he's less than 2 seconds away, so if he's got another lap maybe after this before he pits, or is at least called to the pits, then he's got a chance to be able to make some ground there on Lasky, which isn't going to help the Brit. And there's a bit of a lock up there as well going into the hairpin there.
This car was just made to have the green tyres on, with the green racing stripe up the centre. It'd look wrong with like a yellow tyre or a white stripe or something.
It could have worked with the Pirellis, the red tyres. Could have worked. Back towards the front, you can see the gap. Sigalakis not keeping up with McNamara at all, and in particular, Lasky isn't keeping up with anyone at the moment either.
That's a strange one, because Lasky on paper...
Ooh. That'll be an engine problem for Dovizioso there. Because if it was transmission, he would have already stopped by now.
Just after the pit lane too.
Yeah, it's something that not a lot of teams and cars opt to even try to bring the car in to save it. So, not sure what they would have been able to do. He's still pulling gears there, though, Dovizioso. So Sharp now looking to go around him. Should be only a matter of time for him, you would imagine.
Yeah.
So we'll leave that. Leave that car to go.
McNamara has horns.
True. Oh, and there he goes. There he pulls off. And to add insult to injury, damages the car on the way through as well. Joseph Wright back past Hugo Rossello there as well.
That's going to start really impacting his race as he goes off.
Goes straight off Joseph Wright. So that's going to absolutely release Hugo Rossello. But it might be Luke Rosella, I think, looking up the track. Yeah, Luke Rosella's actually making the move now on Hugo Rossello. So just when you thought that Hugo might have it his way a little bit. And this is a dangerous point on the track as well to be trying anything, so yeah, he won't be able to make the move. As Corns is in, and so is Daniel Harvey. Harvey gets back out quite quickly. Hugo Rossello is nowhere to be seen as well.
He's lost a lot of time during those tussles.
Absolutely. Daniel Harvey now has Tapio Rinniho to battle with. Harvey now actually really is a danger for this race. He's so far up the road from Rossello.
Yeah, but that fight with Joseph Wright is certainly made it hard for Rossello to get back up and be able to fight with Harvey, at least in the short term and the medium term.
I think also you got to look that Rossello did, of course, have quite a much lighter car. That maybe we're seeing the strategy masking the true potential of the car and the driver there. So we'll have to see what happens. As this is going to be an enticing battle because I think Rinniho has got the car speed over Harvey. Harvey's got a bit of strategy up his sleeve. And I'm not sure how this will end out, you know, by end of race, because they'll both have to pit. Rinniho will have to pit for longer, but he's got a faster car. Further back, Rossello, there is the gap that you can see. So he's 10 seconds behind. He's lost 10 seconds. Rob Sharp, not Omar Saeed, Rob Sharp there, going past Nathan Corns. There's Joseph Wright, so the Raven West's running just outside the 10 at the moment. Stefan Berner, Tim Engbrink, close to being able to crack the top 10. Matthew Allington's pitted as well, he's not too far away. So McNamara is leading at the moment. 4.3 seconds to Sigalakis, a further 3.3 to Jack Lasky. And then Rui Martin's 2.6 behind that. Then you have Rinniho and Harvey still battling it out. First corner. Harvey is really going for it now. You don't see overtakes there.
Well, this battle could make or break both their races here. If something goes wrong, or if they get held up. They won't get held up by each other, but if they fight too much...
I think it's realistically it's Harvey's race that is going to be ruined here.
Yeah.
He's in P6. Him, McNamara, well, everyone now is basically one stop from the finish. If he can't get past Rinniho, he's not going to get past.
Yeah,
hang on.
That's Lasky.
I suspect that's a transmission problem. So Jack Lasky, been leading the season for a long time, lost the lead last race. Transmission problem, and he is out of here. Happened so quick. So just like that, DTK now are in real strife, as they've only got one car left, and he can't get past Tapio Rinniho.
Well, that could tell us why Lasky's been struggling so far in this race, because he's not been himself.
No, and we've seen, not just this season, but we've seen in many seasons beforehand that you can sort of tell. You don't know that it's happening at the time, but all of a sudden somebody has a failure of some description, generally transmission, and all of a sudden you go, that's why. It's happened a few times this season where cars have been going great guns and then just lost all. So realistically, Hugo Rossello might be in strife. You've just given me a look there like, oh damn. As
Milosh, if you can have a go at Aiden if that happens, and Joseph Wright.
Not having a good day.
He can't even get out back on the track. If Rossello retires or anything, Milosh, it was all Aiden's fault.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I called it last race as well, didn't I, with Ben Itza, say, I reckon he'll make it to the last lap and retire. Well, I was 2 laps out, but I mean, I was fairly close. Realistically, when you make such an open-ended guess, prediction such as that, to be within 2 laps of it isn't too bad.
Well, you've got, I don't know how many laps are in the race, but let's say 56 or so to choose from. So that's it's a big within 2. It's a pretty, it's a very close guess.
Yeah, oh yeah. Definitely the case. And there goes Hugo Rossello moving back past Luke Rosella. Ros and Ros. Well, really, it is Ros and Ro.
Yeah.
Rob Sharp. Ros, Ro, and Rob.
Or Ros Rowan. Sure.
Nah, it's Rob. Rob, my boy.
Well, we can call him Corlin. We can call him
English. Bo. Tot.
Top.
All.
Well, Ellington is 13th right now. I'm gunning for Ellington for points.
He's a great chance here.
Yeah.
He's the final driver looking for points at this stage of the season.
We can get him there. We can barrack him there. Hopefully.
Chris Guardian got 5th, of course, last round. Out in Britain. He's not having the best of time right now here. 15th, not really going anywhere. Oh, fastest lap. Well, I mean, I think
Yeah.
I think he's fine. So McNamara holding it, Sigalakis, and then that means it's a 5.7 second gap back to Rui Martins. And Riniho is a further 10 seconds away. The field already thinning out. It's going to come down to Harvey realistically. He's the biggest... He's the only one that can really make a big push here late in the race. Perhaps Rossello. Perhaps Rossello could bring himself back into the race.
He certainly could. If it weren't for his battle on the exit of the pit lane, Rossello, it would be between Rossello and Harvey, I feel.
I feel as well, you don't lose 10 seconds in battles.
No.
Not in 4 laps.
Well, there was...
He must have also gone wide or something like that.
There was 4 or 5 overtake attempts. Proper overtake attempts. So you lose a second or so in each of those.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, I guess you don't lose 10 seconds. It might be a little bit because he was on a heavier strategy compared to Harvey, who was still going light.
Yeah.
But that is just crazy, for the most part. As Nathan's going to run outside the commentary box.
Nathan. Hopefully, they've cooled down.
Aaron, of course, calling for the drinks break.
Yeah. The problem with Australia is we like cold beer, but it's hot outside, so if you don't have ice, the beer doesn't stay cold.
Here's the thing. This is the German Grand Prix, and there are German beers in that fridge, and they are cool.
Yes.
There you go. So for Toby, for Ben, in particular, being Germans, I'm probably going to absolutely mince this one, but they're Oettingers.
Oettinger Pilsner?
I feel it's an Oettinger, even though it's spelled with an I. It's Tinger, but I don't feel that's it. So an Oettinger. That's probably actually right.
Probably. I don't know.
Maybe.
Leave your thoughts in the comments.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.
Yeah.
What was it? Like, share, subscribe. I don't know.
Oh, one of those.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com. Top 10. So far, it is going fairly straightforward for a lot of these guys. McNamara is pulling away at the front here, though. 5 seconds now. This could be a big moment, Aaron. Obviously, we're not even halfway through the race here, but the way things are going, this would be the first time in 5 seasons that 2KF1 would lead the championship.
Let's see how things go, I suppose.
Yeah, I've probably just put the moz on them, and I'm expecting now that there's going to be absolutely no points gained whatsoever for
None
the
at
team.
all.
they probably end up losing ground.
But if so, for such a high up team, it would be a landmark moment, wouldn't it?
Well, for a team that, considering they won the first race, and were running very close to the leaders for a while there in Season 1, and have had strong cars in other seasons as well, it's quite surprising that it's taken 5.5 seasons. There are a lot of teams that have hit the championship lead. Not this one.
Not this one. Well, a lot's going to come down to the pit stops here, because we've got, I don't know the exact time between McNamara and Martins, but if they both come in at the same time, I reckon Martins would maybe be slightly impacted.
Slightly impacted, yeah, you would fancy. It's generally about, I think we've been seeing about 8 seconds or so on the stops.
Yeah.
So he should be fine based on that, but of course the pit crew needs to be like moving around and everything, so he would be impacted somewhat.
Yeah.
You would still think that even at this point in time that they're just going to pit them on separate laps.
Yeah. They don't need to take any risks here. You've got the runners at the front. You've got McNamara, Sigalakis, Martins. At this point, all they need to do is just don't take any risks, don't lose time, and just basically wait until the chasers come in.
Definitely the case. We'll get an idea there as Hugo Rossello might be making up a little bit of time there on Daniel Harvey. It's hard to really tell. They're on very similar fuel loads, so they're actually going to be coming in at a similar time. Tim Engbrink there running very light. Same Stefan Berner, which is surprising. Danny Toto's lightest of them all. For different reasons. Entirely different reasons. Joseph Wright, my god, he's so far out the back there. Here we go, so James McNamara coming in this lap. And as expected, Martins is not.
I think that's the good call. Sigalakis will come in next lap.
Well, at the end of this lap.
At the end of this lap, yeah.
Rinho's still got quite a while up his sleeve to continue motoring. So this should put Harvey back into the lead of the race. I suspect that McNamara might come out somewhere around Rossello, which could be important. Sigalakis would probably be further back around Rossello, but Rossello's pitting, as is Sharp, so he might get lucky, but he might also be around Engbrink and Corns.
Which is really what you don't want.
No, especially if you're the driver or the manager there for ART. Would be fun for him though, however, Noel Sigalakis, of course. He drove for the team that was coloured like this in Season 1, and his teammate was this guy. So much fun now that we're getting into the seasons a little bit that you can start pulling out completely irrelevant facts like that. So McNamara will be in with Sigalakis, not with Martins. So he'll be coming in on fumes. So it's Harvey, it's Rossello that we're looking for as to where they are. McNamara comes out, so he's in. There's the Sigalakis. Martins might... No, I don't think he did, so he might just hit the lead at the finish line next lap. Hard to say. McNamara coming back down the pit lane. Hugo Rossello's only just coming out onto pit straight. There goes Harvey. So I don't think Rossello is going to be in a position to really be attacking McNamara, but there is going to be a large speed differential.
Yeah.
There you go, so there are the gaps. You would fancy Rossello will be making the move on McNamara. You can see, just look how much fuel he's had to put on board. Heavy boy. Martins is in this lap, as expected. Harvey just losing ground to Rinho. Nathan Korn, Stefan Berner. So, in fact, Sigalakis has been able to stay out in front of that battle that we were talking about. Maybe is where he's going to come back out of. Korn's there. Stefan Berner and Engbrink, they're all on the two-stop strategy. They're all battling with each other, and they're all probably losing time. There's Engbrink looking down the inside there once again.
Well, and it's pretty much every single entry into every single chicane in the last couple of laps. I'm pretty sure one of them has not been on the racing line. Allington's in points.
Once again. However, he needs to be in this battle pack if he wants any chance at points realistically.
If they continue fighting, I didn't get to see the gap from him to them, but surely he'll get on the back of them.
You'd think, yeah. Will be tough for him. So here comes Rui Martins. Goes across the line, has led a lap. Tapia Rinho
In the lead.
Harvey is mainly... I think he's starting to catch up a little bit to Rinho here. So Harvey's getting low on fresh tyres. Fresher tyres, I should say. He's making a run for it. I'll see if Hugo Rossello can catch up to McNamara, because that's the crucial one, I think, at the moment. Rinho being caught by Harvey sort of makes sense. Similar sort of fuel, for the most part. Fresh tyres are going to make the difference.
Yeah.
Of course, Rinho has now gone over half the race, half the prescribed race distance on one set of tyres. That sort of makes sense. Can Hugo Rossello use the speed in his car to be able to catch up? It would seem that he should.
I
but
feel
will
like
he do
he
it,
should.
Will he do it in time before he has to pit?
That'll be the question. He'll be faster.
Yeah.
But it's all on how heavy McNamara is, basically.
We'll
How
get
much
an
slower he's
idea.
gonna be.
We'll get an idea as they come across the start-finish straight. We'll see the lap times as to what is really sort of going on. Harvey does seem to have lost a bit of time once again to Tapia Rinho. Joseph Wright has pitted, so back to the back he goes. I was thinking then, it's like, is the overlap on? Maybe not quite. Bit different to Silverstone, where we did see, everyone up to about 7th, I think, get overlapped. Here, everyone's just running at full speed, and they're able just to hold on to it. So, let's get an idea now. Come across the line. Rinho 49 as well for Harvey. McNamara with a 41.0 and a 46 for Rossello. So he's definitely catching up to McNamara, and you're judging on that, he should catch him before the end. 41.1 there. 42.1 there for Corns. These guys just battling each other to the point that they're losing time. Martin's on the back of that group as well. I think that's a good spot for him.
If he can just tail off that group, and yeah,
There's definitely worse spots that he can be in.
I suppose for Martins and Allington as well, and Berner there, they don't want to get caught up in anything that comes off the back of that group, obviously. So if they do take it too far, You just want to sit back and be careful, pretty much.
Absolutely. There you go. Tapio Rinho. That gap between him and Daniel Harvey just ebbing and flowing all the time. Sometimes out to 2.2, back to 1.8. And they're running basically the same lap times as we saw last lap. And he'll be coming in now. So we'll see where he comes out relative to Martins. I think they're the real battle at the moment. So he'll come in now. Harvey should see him. There he goes. Zooms past. Through the first corner. Now, not that he has been held up, but he is absolutely released. Rossello, they're not gaining as much time as you'd expect. This commentary box once again empties. Stefan Byrne are going to be pitting in already, same with Engbrink. Korn's going a few extra laps. They're going to be coming in basically on the same strategy as Tapio Rinho, and here he is, Oh, Tim Engbrink! Did he have something going wrong for him just beforehand? Yeah, something's broken there. It seemed like it's transmission failure there for Tim Engbrink.
Oh no!
Puts the car heavily into the wall, tyre rolling around, and that's the end of his race. But in positive news, that's +1 position for Matthew Allington.
Yes.
So out of the race he goes. Positions there for everyone. Daniel Harvey towards the front, slowly pulling a little bit of a gap to James McNamara. Of course, it's not going to be anywhere near enough. Keep him ahead at his last pit stop. Could be important nonetheless. Hugo Rossello still catching McNamara, 1.5 seconds behind now. Will almost be in the slipstream, but he's only got himself a couple of laps before he'll have to pit, surely. Indeed, Stefan Byrne coming in with a bit left in the tank. Doesn't have to worry about Engbrink there anymore. Corns through, Martins happily through. Rinho chasing down Allington. And just 15 cars at near halfway. Rossello is arguably going to have one opportunity at McNamara here.
Awkward moment. Goes in my bag the whole time.
That moment that Aaron's been going around in the paddock and everything looking for a stubby holder, and it was in here the entire time. Disappointing. Disappointing effort that is, for sure. Still, this gap continuing to come down. Hugo Rossello catching up to McNamara so quickly, but will he have enough time in this next lap to be able to make a move?
I think not, but he will get right on his bum. He might try and make a move, but that's my prediction.
Yeah, and he hasn't been able to make up too much extra ground there either. So he will pit in at the end of this lap. He's not quite in the slipstream, I don't think. Yeah, you can hardly see McNamara up ahead. If you can get a good effort in braking down here, you might be able to get up a little bit closer to McNamara and slingshot him forward. But I have to agree, he doesn't seem quite close enough, McNamara.
However, every second he does gain here could come back later in the race to, I don't know, help at all. We saw last race, there was a drag to the finish between Rui Martins and, I'm going to say, Danny Totos? Or maybe, might not have been the last race. It might have been a couple of rounds
Oh,
ago.
yeah, in France.
Yeah. It came down to a tenth of a second.
Yeah, that would have been Dovizioso, Martins, and Engbrink. Yeah, three of them going across the line. But I mean, even at the same time, last round we did see Chris Guardian and Jordan Bradford. So definitely the case. McNamara here, he's going to keep Rossello behind him just long enough. Rossello's just going to be able to get onto the back of the 2KF1 as he pits in. Harvey down the road will be having to come in to the pits any moment now. Oh, sorry, next lap, sorry, or rather, I should say.
Yeah.
Will be good for us to see Rossello. Where does he come out? Because you can go forwards about 8 seconds, and that'll be roughly where you'd be expecting Harvey to be coming out. Where will Harvey come out in relation to Tapia Rinho is the big question. There's another yellow flag.
Oh, no.
Didn't make it anywhere near the last lap.
Toby equals triggered right now.
I'd say, oh well, we could have guessed that because of his speed, but mostly that was to do with spinning off and whatnot. So just look at the marshals there. Clean and efficient.
Nice lineup.
Clean and efficient. Very, very German. Oh, and they're gone.
Just slink away.
So here comes Rossello. Oh, he's been I think he might have been slowed down in pit lane a little bit there.
Yep.
Riniho's already through. Rossello's still coming down the lane, so it's going to be close between Riniho and Harvey. I would imagine that it might even come down to a drag down the first straight. Luke Rosella in 9th, Rob Sharp 10th. Matthew Allington on the way out.
Oh.
Rosella's going to get past, and I fancy that Allington's not going to have enough speed down the straight. So yeah, Rob Sharp's going to go
past.
Stefan Berner.
He's fast.
Danny Totos might actually get up enough as well to make a pass, so could be close.
He might go for the dive bomb into the first chicane there.
Daniel Harvey's done very well here to be able to push it out to nearly 7-second gap.
Harvey is certainly owning this race at the moment. Obviously he'll fall back into the pack in his pit stop, but he's got the speed to work himself out of there.
Okay, so here we go. In he comes now. McNamara will go past. Harvey just making it to the line before he's overtaken. Sigalakis, Martins, Rinho. He's coming out now, Harvey. This is going to be close. He seems that he's out. He's out ahead of Martins, but he should be taken on the straight. Oh no, Martins has slowed down there.
Oh. He's been slowed down a lot. So Rinio is now right up with this group.
You'd think Martins might be able to make the overtake here, which would absolutely make this a three-way battle. This is for... possibly... this would be for a podium. So there you go. Martins pass Harvey. Now here comes Rinio. Harvey's and DTK so close to being able to make that work, but will he be able to hold off these two? Arguably, the cars might be a little bit better than the DTK in race trim. Rinio's already looking for the overtake. He's going to try to do it first possible opportunity while Harvey is on the cold tyres, not up to pressure yet. And he's going to get it done, but Harvey sticks close.
Harvey really needs to hang on to this pack here. If he gets dropped, it will be... he can catch back up, and he probably will, but it's going to be difficult.
I think that's exactly the best way to put it. It'll be very difficult for him if he drops off. It's just adding time that he didn't need to be wasting.
Nathan Corn's having a good race in 7th.
Definitely the case. Looking a little bit further back, and Totos did get past Allington. So if Allington can get back past the Hungarian, that would be 11th for him. He's not too far away from a possible tilt at points. So Nathan Corns finds himself back into the commentary box. As it would seem at the moment that Martins might be just getting a bit of a gap. His best friend here would definitely be Tapio Rinio, because if Rinio just slides back towards Harvey, that's going to be a battle that'll probably keep those two more or less engaged for a while. Otherwise, Harvey has found himself 20 seconds behind and doesn't have the car speed.
Yeah, that's you put that down to fuel load and cold tyres, I suppose, but that is a little bit surprising.
He may come back a little bit later in the stint.
Yeah.
But
if he can, he just needs to try and not lose too much. Sigalakis really here, we haven't spoken about him much, but he's just going about his own race, not really getting involved in much at the moment, which is what you want to do.
There was talk with... Now, I'm going to come out and I'm going to say I didn't see it as being confidential or anything, but I had discussions with Milos, of course, during the week, and there was the idea was floated that perhaps we're seeing some of these cars not going as fast as they could due to reliability. Such that some of the cars with much higher reliability, they're having to drive them slower to be able to make them last. And so we're fairly certain in the lead up to this race, a lot of work was done at the ART factory in making sure that these cars were going to be made a little bit more reliable.
Yep.
I mean, you look at where they've been finishing recently, obviously a lot of that was to do with mistakes, I feel. But they've held their own, and Rossello has shown some speed. This is the sort of speed that we saw him having early in the season, that he sort of lost since then.
Yeah.
He's starting to find it back a little bit. He's obviously back in 6th, and that's probably a very fair position for him to be in.
A lot of the time he did lose to Harvey was due to the battle with Joseph Wright.
And I mean, considering that he lost around 10 seconds and he's 7.5 seconds behind now,
yeah,
he's showing
the speed that the ART actually does have.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So here we go. Rinio now, meanwhile, down the inside there of Free Martins. He's already got the move done. Will Martins fight back? And that's what these two probably actually don't want.
If they can work together here to drop Harvey, it'd actually be good for both of them.
Yeah, but Martins looks like he's going to fight back. This is, of course, for a podium. Now that Tapio got his one and only that he was really looking for this season, he's on a march to get as many of them as he can.
It's often the case when you break a duck. It's you can continue breaking that duck.
Well, yeah, really for Falcon, it was the breakthrough that they needed this season. Of course, they hit the podium in France with Rinniho. They hit the winner's step in Britain, and they're looking for the podium again here in Germany. And of course, Tapio started further back. He's on the slower strategy, got swamped at the start. It's not easy to be starting on a heavier fuel load at any stage. You just lose time. You're losing time to people overtaking you and things like that. Sometimes you make mistakes because the car is heavy. He's done well. And he's starting to show a little bit of car speed as well towards the end of the race here. And that's exactly what Daniel Harvey doesn't really have at the moment.
But Harvey is holding on there.
He's holding on, he's holding close, but he was out to nearly 2 seconds behind Rinniho before that attempted overtake. Well, sorry, attempted overtake. It was the re-overtake by Martins where Rinniho really had to take not a particularly good line for him. And you can see Harvey, he's lost seconds again there as yellow flag. Somewhere. Oh, we were talking about him.
Commentator's curse.
That reliability.
He's ripped off the entire left side of the car there.
That's all your fault, Aiden.
Could well be.
It is. You spoke about it before.
Nathan Corns. There was a wheel on the track. Oh, it's just off the racing line there.
Corns, just like real life, could not give a shit. Yeah, straight past. Oh, that debris is disappearing as cars get to it.
So nobody going into it, nobody doing the Jack Lasky and just like deciding just to go straight into it. So Matthew Allington here, really good opportunity.
Let's go, Matt.
11th place at the moment, right behind Danny Totos. And his teammate is actually the one behind as well, so see if Chris Guardian is actually going to make up any time on these two.
The garage unit fantastic later this race, or after the race. If they get double points, they'll be going off. Maxello's car has a ghost in it.
Yeah, someone's giving that a push back, or there might be a string on the back of it somewhere. I don't know.
I reckon it's possessed.
Could explain a bit.
The ghost of the Hockenheim ring. Rip the ring.
Don't know what you're talking about. It still exists. As Rinniho has been able to get past Rui Martins there, and Daniel Harvey is right onto the back of this now. So we'll see, is it going to be maybe Martins that gets shoved back here? Yeah, definitely at the moment, Harvey is much closer to the back of Martins than Martins is to the back of Rinniho. I'm not sure if Martins will have enough time to get a slipstream. He might just be able to get enough to hold off Harvey here. But it's hard to say. Rinniho is probably pulling away.
I suppose in 4th and 5th here, it's the battle of the unlucky pair. Obviously, their teammates are both battling for the championship, and Harvey and Martins have both had a string of DNFs and such.
Yeah, and Harvey has gotten himself to the winners' podium, but not too much apart from that. And I think Rinniho has left this battle behind, so it's up to... He's leaving it up to Martins to try to keep Harvey away from him. Not sure
Well, its plan is working for him at the moment.
You can just see there's such a gap ahead. Corns as well is 20 seconds behind. And I'll say it now, I think Danny Totos has got the upper hand, I think, in this battle at the moment. Not just track position or anything, but Allington is just not quite getting it.
He's hanging onto the back, but he's doing nothing more than that, is he?
No, the Aston Martin engine is volatile, but pretty quick.
Yeah. Certainly, if it doesn't blow up, and if the drivers don't drive off the track, it's going to do well.
And now, meanwhile, Stefan Berner down the inside there of Rob Sharp. Rob Sharp he's been having a pretty good time recently. He's gotten some points. He's got some cash in hand as well, so he's not doing too badly. Chris Guardian has a problem.
We speak of possible
throttle problem, so he's not going to be making life hard for his boss. He's well, I mean, like, he probably is right now, but not on track anyway.
We just spoke a lap ago about, imagine the fantastic garage tonight if they could manage to get double points. Well, without a throttle, that's not happening.
Oh yeah. We'll see if he actually will make it back as well. Fancy he should.
He's in the arena.
And he's into the pit lane as well though, so...
That's good to see.
Yeah, he should be all good. Joseph Wright now will move to 12th. Matthew Allington, really nobody to have to worry about behind him. And he's caught up a little bit to Danny Totos as well, so he should get a bit more slipstream. It might actually be Rob Sharp here who is the one really in danger of falling out of the 10. Stefan Berner has moved away from that. Definitely is, as you mentioned, it's a tough one for BRT. They've had a lot of bad luck, but realistically, from where they've started this season, was always going to be difficult for them. This needs to be a building season for season 6.
Yeah.
They started with half the budget of everyone else. Like all of their main rivals, for instance, DTK. They started with half the budget. Even the drivers weren't fully prepared for it. So, like, it's tough for them, but they got to keep their heads high at the moment because it should get better for them at some stage. There's Chris Guardian, long way behind. He's actually the last one running at the moment. So once again, Germany provides a race of attrition. Martins and Harvey here, very little is actually happening between them. Harvey's not getting a real good go at back of Martins. He might be close soon, so he might be able to make a shot at it though.
No!
Now, something's happened here as we were discussing in the commentary box. Stefan Berner's gone off there. So, now Stefan Berner was 2 positions ahead of Allington. So he's in 8th right here. So what has happened to Stefan? So he's 3 positions ahead, rather. So he's gone off at the first corner.
Has he come back on? And
No, Allington's gone off with him.
Have we got debris from when Rossello went off, maybe?
Rossello was a different...
Oil.
It was a different corner
Oh,
now.
was it? Oh, yes, Rossello was at the final corner.
So Stefan Byrne's gone off over there. Allington now. There might be something down on the ground there. There's Allington nearly swiping Burner. There's Joseph Wright, and he's going to have a lot of speed that Allington really doesn't have. Stefan Burner back onto the track. And it's a sorry sight for BRT once again. They won't be too happy with that. But at the moment, Matthew Allington.
You can do it. Come on. Joseph Wright, however, is looking to ruin the party.
Yeah, Joseph hasn't had a good time. He's had 2 wins this season, but very little else to talk about.
If we can get around Allington here, Ravenworth double points, that'll be a good day. A very good day for the team.
Good day for the team. It's mainly the drivers. It's mainly the driver that'll be most happy, you'd have to say.
MCC. Yeah.
Back towards the front, we're down to about 8 laps to go. So inside the last 15 minutes of this race.
I think the recovery crew they gave up. They did a very good job getting Embering off the track. About 100 metres back from that.
They just haven't bothered.
Benitza has a very good view of the track from there. Gets to see him entering the chicane. Well, I think it's a corner actually, not a chicane.
Oh, Chris Guardian. Caught a curb there on the inside and get a little bit worried. Look further up to see Allington and Wright, and this looks like this is going to be a battle going for a while. They're running at roughly the same pace, and Wright is just a little bit too far away to really be considered in the slipstream at this point in time, but it comes down to what's going to happen here. How does Allington get through the East Curve chicane? Doesn't seem too bad, but all comes down to how Wright gets through it as well. Benny Totos here is hassling the back there of Rob Sharp.
He's up the inside, and he looks like he's going to get this move done into the arena.
Yeah, it's nicely done there. I've been saying a few times, it's not really somewhere that you see too many overtakes, but they're getting it done down there when they have the opportunity.
It takes balls, but if you can get the inside line, if you can get the speed on the straight...
The big thing is don't do it when you're 3 wide.
Yeah.
That never ends well. I mean, overtaking when you're 3 wide just never ends well, full stop, but, like, there is one of those places you don't want to be doing it. Meanwhile, Rui Martins has pulled away now, 1.1 seconds back to Daniel Harvey, so DTK seems to just be running out of puff, you'd say.
It was. It looked like it was going to be such a good race for Harvey, but we've still got 7 laps to go, so anything could happen. But
I mean,
it looks like the 2-stop just hasn't worked for him today.
it was probably masking the true pace that the car had. Like, he was at the front, but we said it early on, they're just not making any time at the front. They're not getting away. They're not really pulling away. In the middle stint, you saw a bit more of the speed, but once everybody turns out at the final stint, everyone's basically on the same fuel load. It's only tyres that are the difference, and he's not making the most of it.
Yeah. And at this point, it's only tyres that could really decide if Harvey's going to move up into fourth, or not sure how far back he is from third. He's 6 seconds back. No, 8 seconds back. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, so I believe it's 7 laps to go now. Well, about 6.5 for McNamara. He's nearly out to the east curve. Totos has gone past Sharp. I think we did see that, didn't we? As Allington, he's got the gap to Joseph Wright. That's all. That's almost got to be enough, you would imagine.
Let's go, Matt.
On towards his first points of the season. You wouldn't have guessed that'd be Germany.
You wouldn't have guessed, but at the same time,
it's not surprising.
It's not surprising because
Germany has always thrown curveballs like this.
Yeah.
I was looking back at the history a while ago, and James McNamara was the first driver to have a podium in every season. Then Tapio Rinho, as we have a Joseph Wright's gone off though. He's gone off quick because that's a Marshall running over to him.
Jeez, that's a hard hit.
Yeah, that's a big one. So that's Joseph Wright out of this race, and I'm not sure he'll be classified. He's too far out as well. But as I was saying, as obviously we've got other things going on in and around the commentary box, but James McNamara is the first one to get to podiums in every season. Soon, Tapio Rinho, of course, 2 rounds ago, has also equalised that. Tapio, as well, is also the first driver to win in 4 different seasons, as of last race. Either way, in regards to James, is in particular is in season 3, where of course the 2KF1 car was very good in qualifying and pretty much bogus anywhere else. And somehow, in a car that had nothing going for it in the race, he got a podium in Germany. And you have to just sit back and say, now how on earth is that even possible? This is one of the most high-speed circuits going around. If you don't have race pace here, like, you're really just wasting your time. And they got a podium.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy. So Matthew Allington, now without Joseph, like we were talking, Joseph Wright had been dropped more or less, so he's almost done.
But Joseph was the only challenger to Allington. Stefan Berner is
A bit too far away, absolutely. 11 seconds, so keeping it on the track is all he needs to do.
Yeah. Hopefully the engine can, or the transmission, or the brakes can make it. We really want it. Has there? I don't actually know this at all. Has there been? As we have moved in the commentary box again, has there actually been a season when drivers have not scored a single point?
Oh yes.
Yep.
Season 1 obviously was a big one, but that was a lot of drivers there didn't have chances. Like I think a lot of them were managers, so some of them were managers early in the season, they never got the chance. yeah, obviously when you have drivers coming in and out of the season, some of them, they're going to be further behind in skill, things like that. So that does happen. It's actually, I think it's only happened out of 5 seasons so far. So, well, out of 4 seasons, 4 full seasons, I think 1 season, it might be 2 seasons that we've had everyone score a point. I think 1 season was when there was like the 22 that started with the 22 that finished.
Yeah.
And it's looking like a, well, I don't know, I'm not even sure if that's right, actually.
If you knew the password, we could...
We could go find out.
Who doesn't know the password to their own internet? I can tell all these Europeans right now who are never going to connect to my internet, I can say that my password is 203 222 F31A. The person who doesn't even live here is just throwing the password at me.
Yeah, we go. Come on, get onto it, stats man. So now we get Nathan in the all important seat.
We do a bit. C4.
Don't read it out loud.
Yeah, God forbid someone across the world's going to get in Wi-Fi.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I could send this to everyone and everyone in Aaron's hometown and just be like, free internet, boys.
Everyone connect to my internet. We've got unlimited.
We've got unlimited. That's all good. That's all Gucci.
You won't be able to download anything of worth with our speed.
Glacial speed internet here, of course. And of course, Aaron doesn't even know where he's going for it.
Yeah.
I've just lost my mouse. Nathan is no longer in the important seat.
Kicked out. So what have we got here? We've got 12 runners. We've got 3.5 laps remaining. We've got, the first 35 laps have been very interesting, and since then, not much has happened.
Look at that, Harvey's the only one that's gone down. Toto,
Rinny.
Totos and Sharp.
Yeah, Toto, Sharp, and Rinny Ho. Look at those.
Well,
and then
even
you look at
Corns and Rosella and Allington, everyone's been moving up big time. So,
yeah. But Rinny Ho up 8 positions from 11th into the podium. It's been a very good race for him. And so we see once again, as we've seen a lot this season, the top 4, or the top 3 different manufacturers, and you've got Martins. And then you've got another couple of different manufacturers there as well. It's been a season where it's not been a lot of pairings in the same race that have done extremely well.
they probably can't hear you whispering.
We're talking about the Wi-Fi. Yes. The password is...
Despicable.
We are a professional commentary team.
Looking there at Harvey and Martin's 1.6 second gap. Looking back at it as well, I'm fairly certain that Season 3 everyone scored points, and same with Season 4. There were 23 drivers in both seasons, so we haven't had a season where everyone has started and finished the season.
Oh, really?
True.
Has this season... So far, it is.
So far it is.
We do have 2... Is it 2 driver managers?
Yep, well... it wouldn't be unknown to have the driver managers go the entire season. That has happened in the past.
Yep.
Meanwhile, I hadn't even noticed, but Tapio Rinniho has just been absolutely bossing his way towards the back of Manola Sigalakis here.
He's down to 1.3 seconds, and with 2.5 laps to go, he can certainly challenge Sigalakis for second here.
So Danny Totos, I'm not sure if he has quite enough time to get to Luke Rosella, but it's possible for him as well. Sigalakis lost 0.4 of a second there to Rinniho, so the race is definitely on for the Finn. Another 10th or so, a bit over a 10th there. Through the chicane, it'll probably be through the arena that we see a lot of difference.
You see he's taken 0.3 of a second out in the first 2 and a bit sectors. And he's really starting to close in on Sigalakis here.
2 laps remaining now for them. Race, it's definitely on for Rinniho, there's no doubt. He is close. He should get closer.
The question is, can Sigalakis... Oh, Martins goes off.
Then he's lost the wheel as well. So out of the race for him. That'll put Corns up, Rosella, Toto, Sharp, Allington as well. He will be classified, but that's points gone begging there for him and the team, as saw someone go spear enough. Also gives Harvey an extra 2 points as well.
Yeah. Rinniho right on the back of Sigalakis now. He pulls out and he's gonna...
He should have it done.
He should. And there it is, Tapio Rinniho into second place.
Good move there by the Finn, and it looks like he's probably already got enough of a gap to Sigalakis to not have to worry about it. McNamara continuing on his way. Sigalakis chasing him down, not sure how much he'll really be able to fight back here, so it seems that's probably job done for him. Matthew Allington now ninth at the moment, looking for 2 points. And Stefan Berner is actually going to get a point as well, it would seem, for BRT. Chris Guardian is chasing him down. I don't think it'll be enough for him though. And Toto's definitely not making up anywhere near enough time on Luke Rosella either. So final lap now for James McNamara.
McNamara will be hoping not to copy his teammate and bin it.
You'd think surely they would have told him, okay, look, Ruiz put it in the wall.
Yep.
Lost the wheel. Just,
you've got 12
you got 12 and a half seconds. I don't think Tapio can do a 1 minute 20 around here.
He could, he might be driving a rocket ship, we don't know.
Yeah. Crack out the jet engine.
Yep. We've got... Rinniho has moved away from Sigalakis here, so there won't really be any re-overtake. How many finishes, or how many on track have we got? 11.
Which is about normal, generally, for the German Grand Prix, that is the case. McNamara now. You'd like to say that it's almost done, but it really isn't. There's still a number of very tricky corners for him.
Absolutely.
To have to negotiate. Going deep into them can can probably see him drop down a long way. So he's into the arena. Important corner number 1 done. Through the hairpin, important corner number 2. As we have got it. Oh no, Stefan Berner's gone off at the first corner.
Oh, DRT cannot take a trick.
McNamara through the final corner, Sud curve. He's going to come across the line. He has won it here. Takes a commanding lead in the Drivers' Championship. And the first time 2KF1 will lead the Constructors as well, as Tapio Riniho will come across the line in second there for Falcon ahead of Manolis Sigalakis. Good return to form for him and Apex. Daniel Harvey to 4th there for DTK. Really good damage limitation, especially after Martin's going off. Nathan Corns will take 5th for Raven West. And they probably weren't expecting too much from them, starting in 14th and 17th, but it's worked well for him. Luke Rosella into the points after the disappointment in Britain. Forgot where it was last week. So he's going to get the points and he'll be able to hold off Danny Totos. Points again there for Karen and Motorsport. Rob Sharp coming through there. Matthew Allington, couple of corners left for him as well, on the way to first points of the season for him. First points of the career as well. Got to remember that.
Yes.
He's been able to do what very few are able to ever have the chance to do. That's score points in his own car. And he's going to be able to achieve that. Across the line he will come for his first points. Chris Guardian will make it. Double points there for Fantastic at the end of the day. A good, if not quite fortuitous, result for them, that is for sure. Come across the line, and Stefan Berner incredibly unlucky once again. At the end of the day, a couple of times he's gone off. Really had the opportunity to really get some good points, but wasn't able to take it, and ends up that he'll be 1 place ahead of where he started. More or less by default.
Well, he got there.
He got there, exactly.
He got there.
That is the achievement of the day. Did you finish the German Grand Prix? Yes.
He did better than 11 other people.
Definitely the case. So, confirmation of the results then. The German Grand Prix, 100% race at Hockenheim. James McNamara winning by nearly 12 seconds from Tapio Riniho. Manolis Sigalakis, Daniel Harvey, the pole sitter in 4th for DTK, Nathan Corns, Luke Rosella, Danny Totos, Rob Sharp, Matthew Allington and Chris Guardian all seeing the finish line in the points. Stefan Berner seeing the finish line, and that's about it. Rui Martins into the wall. Joseph Wright, Hugo Rossello as well, having mistakes and crashing out. Transmission failures for Ben Utzer, Tim Engbrink, Jack Lasky, also Carlos Rodriguez down in 21st. Andrea Davizioso, the only one to lose an engine. And then also mistakes, Saeed, Sun and Bradford. And they're all done. Quick check there, fast lap of the race. Goes to Tapio Riniho by just 5 thousandths of a second from Hugo Rossello. That's unfortunate for him.
That there shows the speed that Rossello did have before his battle with Joseph Wright.
Look at Riniho, went down at the start. Able to make it back up, got to the lead. Daniel Harvey, unfortunate for him. And James McNamara really controlled the day. That's a pretty good one. We're going to leave it there as quickly as possible, as here comes it's an invasion into the commentary box today. That'll be that from myself, from Aaron, from Nathan. We're going to go now. We're going to drink it up. Catch us all.
Straight out.